go to the bottom of the ninth, and the question posed in the top of the ninth has been answered. Jim Fregosi will manage as he did during the regular season, and he'll give the ball to Mitch Williams to try to get the final 3 outs and force a Game 7.
Remember that old television series, Get Smart, with Don Adams. The great line in that was right 99. Well, Jim Fregosi getting smart and calling in number 99 again. 43 saves this year. It was not a clear-cut thing. I mean, the last time out, Mitch Williams was laced all over Veterans Stadium. And this is his first appearance since Wednesday night.
And he was not warming up with the score 2-0 in favor of Philadelphia in the late innings the other night. Perhaps it's only fitting that in a game like this, no matter which team wins, that Mitch Williams and Kim Batiste will appear in the ball game. They've been a familiar duo in the postseason. And there hasn't been a dull moment yet when those two have been in the ball game. Concern about Williams lately from the Phillies standpoint has been his velocity. It has been down in his last couple of outings. Top of the order, Rickey Henderson, Devon White, and Paul Molitor. The Blue Jays need a run to force extra innings. 2 runs and they're the world champions. More of the theater of the bizarre involving Mitch Williams in the postseason. Before he can even throw a pitch at the bottom of the ninth, Henderson and the umpire step out.
Look at Darren Dalton. He's clearing the way, too. Everybody is just moving out of the way, including you folks in your living room.
Right. Not inconceivable that Mitch could have hit one of them at home. His first pitch, a ball. Henderson 0 for 3.
Sean, I think one of the things, that lack of velocity you were talking about, that's what happens when Williams opens that front side too quickly. Right there. When you open that front side, you have a tendency to push the ball. And one thing that would help Mitch right now is try to keep the front shoulder closed.
Mitch last appeared in Game 4 and gave up the runs that lost the ball game in the 15-14 Toronto win. He appeared in the 8th inning and was charged with 3 runs. Henderson got to him for a 2-run single in that inning that brought Toronto within 1. The 2-0 pitch. Ball 3 high. Ball 4. Williams walks Henderson on 4 pitches to open the 9th.
It is said that television's a visual medium, but not in Philadelphia tonight because nobody's watching.
The tying run is at first. The go-ahead run, the winning run, the run that would win the World Championship, comes to the plate in the person of Devon White, who had the 2-run triple at the expense of Mitch Williams that won Game 4, 15-14. That's the first strike thrown by Williams. Any thoughts of a bunt by Cito Gaston in this instance?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a possibility.
Batiste even with the bag at third. White sacrificed 3 times this year. Of course, you have Henderson, the all-time stolen base king, at first base. Ricky's only stolen 1 in this World Series. He's been thrown out once.
Thing to watch if you're going to steal against Mitch Williams is whether the right foot passes the left leg. Once he does that, it's committed to go home. That's that Terry Mulholland step-off move that Williams will use. But once he picks his leg up and commits going home, What the runner watches for is whether the right foot passes the left leg. Slide step to combat it.
One and one, the count. Six-5 Philadelphia in the bottom of the ninth. Up and away, 2-1 the count.
See, now Ricky Henderson has taken Williams out of his game. I mean, he's not a pitcher that can use the slide step. So he's been high. He has been high with the fastball because of this move toward home. See, that's very unusual and unorthodox for Mitch Williams. That is the move where he picks the leg up, but once he does that, Henderson may run.
To the plate comes Williams. Foul ball by White. 2-2 the count. Paul Molitor is on deck. You're just joining us. The Blue Jays jumped off to a 3-0 lead in the first inning. They led 4-1 after 4, and then the Phillies scored 5 times in the 7th to take a 6-5 lead. There's not been any scoring in the game since then, despite opportunities on both sides. Henderson at first, nobody out. 2-2 to White. Foul ball.
That was another slide step, a slider inside to White. But keep in mind, when he does that, his pitches aren't nearly as effective. He is a power pitcher and relies on the high leg kick.
Pulled sharply foul. Another 2-2 pitch. Another slide step. And another foul ball from Devon White.
Got Kim Batiste on the line at third. If White hits the ball into the position, a double play gets him out of trouble. It's 2 out and nobody on. I think what he's protecting against here is second and third and nobody out. And I think the odds are now to play the fat part of the field and forget about the line. I mean, what are the chances if Ricky Henderson gets on third with nobody out, could probably score.
And now Williams is in danger of walking White. The 3-2 pitch. In the air, left center field. Incaviglia makes the running catch. He and Dykstra had an anxious moment as they looked at each other. It looked like Incaviglia thought Dykstra was going to take charge, and apparently Dykstra didn't see the ball because Incaviglia picked it back up and made the play.
Dykstra did not see the ball. You can see him looking at Incaviglia right there. And Incaviglia saw it all the way and properly made the catch.
For the first out of the ninth, 6-5 Philadelphia. Paul Molitor, 2 for 4 tonight. An RBI triple and a run scored in the first, a solo home run in the fifth. Ricky Henderson at first with 1 out. Paul Molitor, the first player in World Series history with 2 doubles, 2 triples, and 2 home runs in 1 World Series. Fouled away. 1 ball and 1 strike. The 2 pitches to Molitor, both clocked at 91 miles per hour. And apparently the velocity has returned to Mitch Williams, who was clocked in the mid-80s in his last appearance in Game 4. Line into center, falling fast to hit. Third of the night for Molitor. Henderson stops at second.
Paul Molitor has been a hitting machine in this series. His 12th hit. He is now 12 for 23 in the series, and Ricky Henderson has to stop at second because the ball was hit so hard.
And he had to make sure it would sink fast enough to fall in front of Dykstra. So the tying run is at second. The run that would win the World Series is at first, and Joe Carter is the batter. He's 0 for 3 tonight, 0 for 4 lifetime against Williams. Joe drove in a run in the first with a sacrifice fly tonight.
I'm sure Ricky Henderson at second base is thinking about Game 2, 8th inning, with the Blue Jays trailing by 2. Mitch Williams with that trick move and nailing Alomar at third.
Morandini playing very close to the bag, trying to keep Henderson close to second. Williams has fallen behind Carter 2-0. Alfredo Griffin, who entered the game last inning as a pinch runner for Olerud, is on deck, and there's that move by Williams. Ricky wasn't more than 3 or 4 steps away from second. There's Griffin. And there's a strike. 2-1 on Carter. Carter is 0 for his last 7. And he swung at ball 3. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That was a flat-footed strike at Joe Carter, a flat-footed swing that he took at that slider from Mitch Williams. Looked awkward, didn't he?
Now the 2-2. Well hit down the left field line. Way back and Joe Carter with a 3-run homer. The winners and still world champions, the Toronto Blue Jays.
Bottom of the 7th inning in Toronto. Russell Martin, who was charged with the error which led to the go-ahead run. Martin leads off against Hamels, with the Rangers leading 3-2.
Jeff Bannister will start this inning with his bullpen getting warm after that lengthy delay for his starting pitcher Cole Hamels.
The delay was 18 minutes after Martin's throw back to the mound hit the bat of Chu. There's Stubbs in center, replacing DeShields. Broken bat grounder. Andrews could not handle it. Leadoff man on for the Blue Jays in the bottom of the 7th.
That's the speed of Russell Martin. Not a lot of catchers run very well. Forces Andrews to hustle, have to hustle. He just misplayed it. He doesn't miss many balls.
Yeah, he just clanked it. He had time. See, he closed the glove early, off the heel. Late innings, postseason elimination game. Tension builds.
So an error committed by Andrews. Here's Pilar, who has struck out twice today. Rip foul down the left field line.
It's a big error with Andrews right there, because it does. You had Cole Hamels in a nice little roll. He came right back after the delay, and that you get that quick out early. It keeps the crowd out of it and everything. That was a big error.
Nothing in 2 on Pilar.
Well, and they're going for the juggler right now. You got Justin Smoke out on the on-deck circle, hit for Goins. So they're going to make a move. I thought maybe you might see Pilar move him a little bit, but that's not going to be the case. Moving meaning move the runner, not the case here. Good rips. I tell you, there's a lot of guys that have really played well, and their stock has gone through the roof. Nobody more than this guy. He has been so impressive.
Yeah, I agree, and that's why from the get-go, that's why he swings the bat. Toronto doesn't really play to manufacture runs, but he's been one of their hotter sticks in the lineup.
We've watched him have some power. We've shown the speed, the great defense, throw. He's done it all in the 4 and almost 5 games now in this series.
The 106th pitch from Cole Hamels.
Well, I think Cole Hamels gets through this as much as he can this inning, and then that's all we're going to see from him. This is going to be a bullpen game the rest of the way out.
Well, he's got Pilar in swing mode right now. He's been pounding that cutter in. I'm very surprised if Hamels shows him anything in the zone.
The left-hander Jake Diekman and the right-hander Sam Dyson in the Texas pen. On the ground to the right side. Oh, my. Everybody's safe.
Oh, my. You got the left-handed first baseman. He's got the easy throw for the force. And Moreland just shanked it.
Once again, tension, late innings, postseason elimination game, nothing routine.
Well, and what happens here, it allows them to bring Goins back out here to bunt. Andrus almost came up with it, but now you take Justin Smoke back. Look at Russell Martin take the lane out right there, and that takes away a little bit of the angle to throw, and that causes a little bit of a shank, but I think he had already gripped the ball poorly before Russell Martin made his turn.
Two errors in the inning. First Andrus, and then Moreland.
And the point is, they've taken Justin Smoke back, and now you manufacture. You bring Goins, it leaves Goins in the game to drop the bunt.
Set up nicely for Toronto, as you said. Goins for a bunt, and Revere, their best contact hitter, behind him.
It'd be interesting to see how they try to use the bullpen, because they got Dykeman up. You want him to pitch to Revere if you get to that point. And you have Dyson as well, but then you go to all the right-handed hitters.
Goins 0 for 15 in the series, but he's made some tremendous defensive plays. 2 on, nobody out.
A 7th inning you'll never forget.
He wants Beltre to field this bunt.
And that's all just to see if Goins is squaring around.
Bunted foul, 0-1.
And you're right, Tom. The execution here is to push that ball to third base.
Well, Texas did put the wheel play on. Beltre charges hard. Andrews covers third.
Yeah, but
I could also run a fake wheel play here to try to get the pick off at second base. Now we'll get a runner for Martin.
Dalton Pompey, the local native.
A lot of teams, once they show that wheel play with the shortstop vacating, they'll have the shortstop break early and move the second baseman in behind on a timed pickoff play. Pompey has to be careful not to leave too soon and cheat.
Even if they have a wheel play on, if you're Goins and you're the bunter, all you got to do is deaden that ball in front of home plate and still bunt it to third base and make them field it. After back-to-back errors, I'd be surprised if they take a gamble to throw and try to get the lead runner.
So Pompey takes his lead off second. Pilar off first. The 0-1 to Goins. Bunted. Beltre goes to third.
Oh my gosh.
Bases loaded.
He dropped it. Wow. He took great execution. Look at Beltre, the spin, perfect throw, and Andrus just dropped it. He just dropped it.
Three outs. Texas had all 3 outs in this inning in hand. They sit here with none, and the bases loaded.
Wow. 3 errors in the inning. Andrus has committed 2. Ben Revere with the bases loaded. Infield in. 1-run game. Strike 1.
And that's where Revere's speed comes into play.
Look, if you're Cole Hamels right here, you got to get a strikeout. Ben Revere puts the ball in play. It's a run. So this is where you're looking to get a strikeout, and then hopefully you can get the Donaldson, maybe get through it. If you're Ben Revere, you got to just put the ball in play.
Bounce to the right side. Throw comes home. Out at the plate is Pompey.
You know you're not going to double him up. Now, Bannister's going to say he came out of the lane. He's looking for a double play on the slide from Pompey. And with all the catcher rules protecting the catcher, you're going to see the play. Jimenez comes up. He's got a force. But I think Pompey's in the right. You got to take him out. He's still on the plate. He's engaged to the plate. You got to take him out. I thought it was a clean play.
He wants the umpires, Jeff Bannister does, to take a look at this play.
It's a clean slide. If this was at second base, you want to be within being able to touch the base. He's within being able to touch the plate. And now the catcher becomes another infielder for me. It's a double play ball. I'm sorry.
That's the dichotomy between how the middle infield and the plate are treated. Catcher has protection where he cannot be targeted. Middle infielders do not, as long as that runner is within arm's length of the base.
Can you imagine if they call a double play here? Woo!
A wild 7th inning. Go-ahead run scores in the top half on a play that most people here at Rogers Center have never seen before. And now in the bottom half of the inning, 3 errors committed by the Texas Rangers.
You know, again, we got two former catchers managing. And looking at Gibbons' reaction in the dugout, I think he was kind of like, we may not get this call our direction.
One more look from above.
He's got to take him out. I think they're gonna. This call's gonna stay where it's at, and so are we. And I know you are at home.
Bases loaded. One out. Sam Dyson on to face Josh Donaldson. The right-hander out of the Rangers pen. Ball one.
And all the Rangers are doing right here, trying to look to get a double play ball.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for the middle infielders because Revere has a tremendous lead at first and will be on top of the middle infielders very quickly, trying to turn two.
Well, these are the moments that you look for if you're Josh Donaldson. You're sitting 2-0. It's the clincher. Texas has had a bad inning, and they got to come to you right now.
3 errors in the inning committed by the Rangers. And now time is called by the home plate umpire, Dale Scott.
Dale Scott's had a tough inning, but he's got the calls right. He really has. The slide right there and the ball off the bat.
The 2-0 of Bloom. Over the glove of Odor. Pilar scores. And the Rangers get the out at second.
Boy, they got the force at second, but that shows you how strong Donaldson is. But I don't know why Odor didn't turn and run and get it. That's one of those balls that fooled you.
Exactly right. It fooled him. And Revere turns his back on the baseball, so he's not able to get to second base. Here's the ball directly over his head, backpedaling, but just beyond him, and recovers in time for the force at second base.
But on Revere's point, he's got a huge lead. Where he's at right there, if Odor catches it, he's thinking I'm doubled off. That's why he's going back, because that's a ball you think he's going to catch.
Oh, what next?
What an inning. We are tied at 3. Dyson 2, Bautista.
Are we tied? Oh my goodness. Oh, what a game, huh?
What an inning. The 7th inning to this point has taken 40 minutes.
Incredible.
Runners on the corners, 2 outs.
If you look at the Rangers, they've had 5 outs in this inning already. Got the one at the plate, got the one at second. They've had 6 basically. They kicked 3.
And the scoreboard only says 2.
Donaldson driving in the tying run on a fielder's choice. After the Rangers took the lead in bizarre fashion in the top half. The 1-1 from Dyson. Bautista with a drive. Deep left field. No doubt about it.
You can only flirt with fire for so long, and it's going to burn you. He knew it, no doubt about it. There's all kinds of stuff going on.
Encarnacion and Dyson are having words. It looked like Encarnacion was trying to,
which is ridiculous.
well, he was waving to the crowd to stop throwing things, and then Dyson came in from the mound.
Well, Dyson was in no mood for anything after not just the home run, but Bautista admiring the blast.
Admired the blast the whole time, but also this has just been a crazy half inning. Emotions are at the all-time high. But as I was watching this, the first thing, look, everybody's calling for Bautista to come out for a curtain call. So if you're Dyson, that's what you're seeing. Bautista is trying to tell the fans, quit throwing things on the field. Encarnacion, I mean.
As we saw from other Blue Jays earlier, he's trying to get the crowd to calm down.
Quit throwing stuff. That's what he's doing. Calm down. Because the game has already been delayed. That's why you kept seeing so many replays.
And there's Dyson. He took exception. He did not realize what Encarnacion was doing as far as calming down the crowd.
Yeah, it looks to him like he's saying, yes, more, more. And that's not what he's doing. Look, what you did not see is there are people running on the field in the outfield. There's beer cans chucked everywhere. They've got bottles. I mean, they've got baskets of garbage in the right field corner that the grounds crew's picking up. This is the scene that's going on that Encarnacion was telling people, calm down.
Can't recall another baseball game where emotions ran so high, both sides and in the stands.
Remember, the dugouts and bullpens had emptied in game 2 of this series here in Toronto.
Well, I know Bautista hit a bomb, and it's a big one. But if I'm on the other side, that's got to hurt you.
Absolutely.
It just does.
Especially the way this inning unfolded. You could see the tension in the way the Rangers kept mishandling the baseball.
But what a 7th inning. One you will never forget. You'll be talking about where you were when it happened.
Top of the 7th, the Rangers took a 3-2 lead.
And the Rangers are asking for somebody to be thrown out of the stands. And that's the exception that you're seeing.
Let's head down to the field. Check in again with Ken Rosenthal. Ken.
Guys, right before that melee started, or near melee, the Rangers were gesturing toward that very area. Jeff Bannister, very animated. A fan must have done something. They want a fan from that area ejected, if not more than one fan.
And we've seen more police presence now around the perimeter field, moving into the bullpen of the Texas Rangers. And there's Jeff Bannister pointing out someone he once identified to security officials.
So hopefully security will take care of it. There's the Texas bullpen.
Well, they've had to bring security back on the field.
There's the drive by Bautista. 3-run shot. Second home run in the last 2 innings by the Blue Jays.
What a crazy half. Bautista's starting to heat up. He's missed some balls on the inside. He got the base hit earlier.
Watch Russell Martin right here. Yes.
Russell Martin, who committed the error, the throw which hit off the bat of Chu. Martin was pinch run for. earlier in this inning.
I really think they should just take the players off the field for a minute and calm this place down.
Welcome back to Oriole Park at Camden Yards, and it won't be long before number 2,131 will be lowered from the B&O warehouse. It'll become official that Cal Ripken has broken Lou Gehrig's record. If the home team is ahead after 4.5 innings, the game becomes official, and the Orioles are up right now 3.5. So if the 3-1. So if the Angels fail to take the lead in the top of the 5th inning, that ceremony will take place in 3 outs. And they realize that in one more out, the ceremony will take place.
Right, everybody coming back from the concessions, whatever they had to do to gather their seats.
Damian Easley up for the second time. He doubled his first time up, hit a pop fly into right center and turned it into a double. Knuckle curve is low from Mike Messina. The Orioles are to be commended. Whoever thought of the idea of putting the numbers on the warehouse and changing them each night. What a remarkable idea.
Ingenious.
We understand it was a group decision, and we salute all of those who might have been involved in the decision. Two balls, no strikes, the count to Damian Easley. Three and 0. If Easley gets on, Tony Phillips would come up. This is not a man that Messina wants to walk. He's only a .210 hitter. He has only 1 hit in the series. He's been slumping lately. So Moose comes back after him with a fastball. It's 3-1.
Well, most pitchers realize the consequences of walking the number 9 hitter. And usually the number 9 hitter is the worst hitter in the lineup.
Popped him up. Manny Alexander out into right field. He's got it. And now it's time for the moment you've been waiting for. The Orioles are running in from the bullpen to the dugout to congratulate Cal Ripken. All the relief pitchers, everybody out of the bullpen coming into the dugout. It is official now. Cal Ripken has broken Lou Gehrig's record. The new record set by the Orioles Iron Man, 2,131 consecutive games. son, Ryan, only 2 years old. His wife, Kelly, their daughter, Rachel, also there. The Yankee Clipper, Joe DiMaggio, Orioles Hall of Famer, Frank Robinson among those applauding. How about that shirt? 2,130 plus. Hugs and kisses for Daddy is what it says on the back. And a kiss for Rachel. What a moment. Brother Billy again congratulating Cal. Orioles general manager Roland Heeman. Cal's mom, Vi, brother Fred. Mr. Cub, Ernie Banks. The President of the United States, Bill Clinton, and Vice President Al Gore here for this historic game. The ovation so far has lasted over 6 minutes. Say congratulations to Vi and Cal Sr. for a job well done. Indeed. And a proud mama, Vi. What a moment. The fans aren't letting up. Cal is sitting down. He'd like the game to continue, but no way. Not yet. The ovation has now lasted for 7 minutes. And a proud father, Cal Ripken Sr. A loving brother, Billy. And Cal's proud teammates. Another curtain call. What a moment this is for the entire Ripken family. From Cal Sr. and Vi. On down to Kelly, Rachel, Ryan. And what this man must be thinking. One of the great baseball men, Cal Sr., who has helped not only his son, but so many Orioles become major leaguers. and emotion continue to pour out of his fans. The ovation has now lasted for 8.5 minutes. And Cal again steps out to salute the crowd. It was his wish, being the baseball purist that he is, that the game not be stopped for the ceremony. But it looks like there's no choice. All of the folks in the HTS skybox looking on. And needless to say, we're overjoyed at being part of Cal Ripken's career and being here for this historic moment. It's certainly the highlight of my broadcasting career. Has now lasted for 10 solid minutes. And some of the fans are chanting, "We want Cal, we want Cal." And here he comes again, being pushed out of the field by his teammates. Rafael Palmeiro gives him a shove. Al Bunbury, his former teammate. And Cal's going to take a victory lap. One of the great moments in baseball history. The Iron Man has passed the Iron Horse. Cal shaking hands with all the guys on the grounds crew, waving to the fans. Being congratulated by some of the policemen here tonight. The Orioles team on the field. I don't believe any of this was planned. I think this is purely spontaneous. And our congratulations to Cal Sr., his wife Vi. What a moment this must be for them. The guys in the bullpen collecting high fives. And the ovation has now lasted for 11.5 minutes. I've seen a lot of things in professional sports, but never in my life have I seen anything like this. Approaching the California Angels dugout. Put up by Larry Barnett. Al Clark congratulating him. Freddie Tyler, the visiting clubhouse man. Rod Carew, the 7-time batting champ. One Hall of Famer hugging a future Hall of Famer. And the ovation has now stretched to 13.5 minutes. Rene Gonzalez, the former Oriole and one-time Cal Ripken's backup at shortstop. The injured shortstop, Gary DiSarcina, who's out with torn ligaments in his thumb. His idol when he was growing up, Cal Ripken. Former Oriole Rick Burleson. Marcel Latzman and his coaching staff congratulating Cal. And all of us here in the booth salute the Iron Man, Cal Ripken. There's an old saying in baseball, if there's no cheering in the press box, we'll make an exception this time. And the ovation has now lasted 15 minutes. Joe DiMaggio, who played with Lou Gehrig. And the victory lap is complete. Back to his family and another kiss from Doderation. And from his wife, Kelly. And it looks like the Clipper has tears in his eyes.
Took control early, and they have maintained that control. Boone Logan, the latest New York pitcher. Johnny Damon will lead off, then Zobrist and Kochman do up. Damon 0 for 1. He's been hit by a pitch and walked. Takes the pitch down. 1 ball, no strikes. Damon with a little looper, and that ball is going to fall for a base hit. He serves it in there and has a single. The Rays have their 3rd hit.
Well, that was a Johnny Damon special. Haven't seen too much of those lately. Right off the end of the bat. A one-handed swing.
Well, he passed Lou Gehrig, moving up to 57th on the all-time hit list last night with a base hit, and that single leaves him 1 behind Roberto Alomar. Ben Zobrist. He lines one into left, and that one falls in. Damon's going to hustle over to 3rd, and Zobrist winds up at 2nd base with a stand-up double. Single and a double, the 46th double of the year for Ben. And the Rays have a little life here in the 8th. Now Casey Kochman, who's 2 for 3 tonight. And the pitch is a strike at the knees. Kochman single in the 2nd, grounded out to 1st in the 4th, and singled again in the 6th inning. This one low, bouncing in behind the catcher Montero, but not a chance to score. The runners hold at second and third. 1-1.
We've seen that a couple of times from Montero. Instead of turning that glove open in the face of it and blocking it, he goes to the backhand, much like Nunez did out at shortstop. You end up boxing a lot of those.
One pitch. Casey takes ball 2. 2-1. Damon at third, Zobrist at second. And he's hit by the pitch. Casey Kochman hit on the hand, and the bases are going to be loaded. Kochman hit by the pitch, and the ball deflected and got a part of Montero. Take a look at this. So the bases will be loaded. And Joe Girardi wants to go to the bullpen again. Montero escorted off the field by Gene Monahan. And we're gonna go to the bullpen. So a new pitcher. We'll be back in a moment. Luis Ayala is the new pitcher. He's the 9th pitcher of this game for New York, and the Rays don't have a run.
Well, this is their best chance to date in this ball game. Bases loaded, nobody out. Ayala the righty, Fold the lefty.
Sam Fold on the pinch hit for Kelly Shopik. Romine, the new catcher. Boston Romine takes over for Montero. 1-0 the count to Sam. That's outside. Two balls, no strikes. Rays have loaded the bases here in the 8th. And Cole takes one upstairs. 3-0. Ayala pitched 1 inning Monday night. That's a strike. 3-1. Ayala picks up strike 2, and the count is full. Crowd just under 30,000 here. They've been waiting for something to cheer about, making some noise now. And there's ball 4. So the Rays get a run as Damon crosses the plate on the bases loaded walk. It's 7-1.
Well, Ayala battles back. Leaves it just below the zone.
Run charge to Logan. Well, a couple of these and a long one, and
this game is
could happen.
Absolutely far from over.
Sean Rodriguez takes a strike. Sean pinch hit in the 5th inning and walk. And he swings and misses the slider right there. Pulled off that pitch.
You know, the breaking ball by Ayala, he's got that little short arm action, kind of dips the elbow, throws the ball out of his shoulder almost. Tough to pick up and tough when you get that kind of break. Probably going to see it again.
The 0-2 up and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes
on this pitch.
Zobrist third, Kochman second, Bold at first. Rodriguez granted time by Joe West. Now they're all back in sync. The 1-2 pitch, and he's hit. Ayala hit him with the pitch. That's going to force home a run. The Rays make it 7-2. Zobrist scores. Kochman to third, Bull to second on this hit batter.
Well, this you just got to wonder about what Ayala was thinking. You got the slider down in a way that he swung and missed by a mile. You throw a fastball up and away, and then why in the world you would even come in there? That ball gets Sean Rodriguez right in the stomach. My goodness. I'll tell you what, the Rays,
yeah, hey,
you've loaded the bases. They just keep handing you runs. Fine.
Yep.
Now 1 big hit, and you're really right back in it.
Desmond Jennings is going to be the hitter. That's the 18th time this year that Rodriguez has been hit by a pitch. We've had a single, a double, 2 hit batters, and a walk, and the Rays have 2 runs with the bases loaded and nobody out. And here's Desmond. He takes the pitch down. 1 ball, no strikes. And that pitch caught the outside corner. A called strike to make it 1-1. Desmond trying to break a hitless streak here. 0 for 21 right now.
Good time to do it.
And he starts to go. That's a strike. 1-2. A ball, 2 strikes to Jennings. Wide. 2-2. Well, the Yankees have already used 9 pitchers in this game, and they're going to get some further action in the bullpen. Wade is up. 2-2, and he takes ball 3. 3-2. Pitch pretty close. Looked good.
Got away with one. And maybe throw you another run right here.
3-2. Here it is. And a swing and a miss. Jennings missed the fastball. It's a big strikeout for Ayala.
Now that ball just had a lot of late action on it. It was down in the zone. You got to protect. Watch this thing. There's that late sink under the bat.
B.J. Upton. Well, the Rays have the right guys up here. Upton has had a great month. And a shot back into left field. Jones will make the catch. The tag. Kochman's going to score. The Rays get their 3rd run of the inning. Sacrifice fly. The other runners remain at first and second. It's a 3-run inning. 7-3 now. Evan Longoria will bat. All 3 of the runs charged to Logan. Longoria. Bold at second, Rodriguez at first. It would be fun, just for fun, if he hit a long one.
No. These kind of situations, the ones that Evan was made for.
And there it is! Long drive! Deep to left! Gone! Longoria hits a long one. A 3-run shot. And now it's a 1-run ball game. Evan Longoria hits his 30th home run of the year. And the Rays are right back. 7-6 ball game. How about that, folks? On to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Yankees lead the Rays 7-6. The Rays jumped right back into this game with a 6-run 8th. Boston leading Baltimore 3-2. They're in a rain delay in the bottom of the 7th inning. The wild card in the American League dead even. 90 and 71, the Rays and the Red Sox. And Corey Wade will be the 10th pitcher of this ball game for New York. And to lead it off for the Rays is Ben Zobrist. Zobrist doubled and scored in the 8th. One ball, no strikes. And takes it for a strike, a breaking ball. Major League record for pitchers in a 9-inning game is 10, and the Yankees have matched that. Fly ball center field. It's Brett Gardner who's in the game here in the 9th. 1 out. Here's Casey Kochman.
Well, you got to assume that Corey Wade is going to try to.
Johnson has moved over to play left.
Pitch these hitters away, make them hit the ball to the big part of the park. That's something that we've seen Casey Kochman do, take his hits the other way.
And it's 1-0 the count now to Casey. Pitch is in there, a strike, curveball. Texas has taken a 3-1 lead on the Angels. Angels batting in the bottom of the 9th inning. Two balls and a strike.
And you can see that's exactly what Corey Wade is doing. Away, away, away. Make these hitters go the other way and have to put together a couple of hits to score a run. Nothing cheap middle in. They can hit it out.
2-1 and a drive, but it's going to be foul.
That's what you're afraid of.
Well, he got around on that one at home run distance, but well foul. And it's 2-2.
Casey Kochman pulling the quick trigger. He's got the count in his favor. See, this changeup just stays up and out over the plate. And because of the changeup, way out in front.
2-2, a little tapper toward third. Chavez up with it, throw to first is in time. 2 up, 2 down here in the bottom of the 9th for the Rays. Sam Fole is due, but Dan Johnson emerges from the dugout. So Fole, who had walked with the bases loaded as a pinch hitter and scored a run in the 8th, will be lifted. And now it's Dan Johnson.
Well, Dan Johnson is coming up for one reason, and one reason only. Hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Well, ironically, Corey Wade and Dan Johnson were teammates at Durham. Wade in camp this spring with the Rays. Wound up spending the better part of the year with Durham. Kicked on with the Yankees and pitching here tonight. And the first pitch to Johnson is a strike. That was the curveball.
Well, he knows what he's up there to do.
Pitch away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Johnson looks at strike 2. Slipped the fastball in there on him.
That was just perfectly located. He wants the fastball, but when you locate it like that, boy, oh boy, that's tough to do anything with that pitch.
Wade to the plate, down and in. That takes it to 2-2. Two outs. Base is empty. Rays down to their final out. And a high foul. That's going to be out of play. Rays made it a 1-run game with a 6-run 8th. The 2-2 again. Johnson hits it down to right field line. That ball's going to be fair and gone. Dan Johnson does it again. He had a magic moment in 08 against Jonathan Papelbon, and he lines a pinch hit home run to tie this game in the bottom of the 9th inning here against New York. And the Rays keep their hopes alive on the line drive home run by Dan Johnson. 7-7.
Dan Johnson may be a Ray for life.
Joe Madden's club moves into the bottom of the 12th. It's a 7-7 ball game here. Scott Proctor out here to face Upton. 46 pitches, by the way, for Proctor. DJ fouls it back, strike 1. 7-9-1 for the Rays, 7-9-1 for New York. And they're tied in Baltimore with a runner at second and 2 outs. 1-1 the count. Swing and a miss. 1-2. And the Baltimore Orioles have just beaten Boston. They've scored 2 in the bottom of the 9th against Papelbon, and the Orioles beat Boston 4-3
with 2 outs and nobody on. Oh, wow.
The Orioles come from behind and defeat the Boston Red Sox tonight. Upton swings and misses. Evan Longoria. The pitch is down. 1 ball, no strikes. Now Evan takes the pitch. a strike. It's 1-1. They've just posted the final here. Baltimore defeating Boston 4-3. It was Evans' 3-run home run in the 8th inning that made it 7-6. Don Johnson's home run tied it, and a swing and a miss. Now 1-2. The 1-2. That's low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's foul the other way and out of play.
You know, we've seen Evan do that quite a bit here lately. Have put together some very good at bats. You know, even right there, a good slider by Proctor. He finds himself starting to chase that pitch and is still able to reach out there and just foul it out and give himself another chance.
2-2 and a line shot down the left field line. That ball is gone, and the Rays win it. A line drive home run by Evan Longoria, and the Rays storm the field. It's an 8-7 final on Longoria's second home run of the night. And moments after, Baltimore comes back to beat the Red Sox. The Rays win it on the home run by Longoria, and there's some celebrating going on here. How about that for a finish?
You have got to be kidding me. Evan Longoria coming up huge, a 3-run homer in the 8th, and then how about that, an absolute bullet right down the left field line to win it.
Rays win the American League wild card in dramatic fashion.
Well, you know, both managers are pulling out all the stops, and Rick Wise, who has not relieved in a game all season long, is coming in. He is the 4th Red Sox pitcher and the 12th pitcher to appear in this game, which is a new World Series record. The old mark, 11, twice previously, a 67 series between these Red Sox in St. Louis, and in 73, Oakland and the Mets. But a new record established, 12 pitchers in a game, as Rick Wise, who won 19 games, as you see, and lost 12, will be the 4th Red Sox pitcher. Louis Tiant worked 7 innings plus, gave up all 6 runs the Reds scored, and also gave up 11 hits. Moret pitched an inning. Drago pitched 3 very fine innings, gave up a hit and struck out a batter, was helped along, though, by Dwight Evans' game-saving catch, you might say. And now Rick Wise, who, as we said, did not relieve this year or last year, but did relieve once while pitching for the Cardinals in 73.
There you see the quad shot, so pick the spot that you'd like to get an idea of which would be your favorite shot. I always like the one on the upper right-hand corner. Watch those pitchers' eyes. He's looking down again, and here he comes. Gives you that over-the-shoulder kind of peep look.
Very deliberate pitcher, likes to take his time. You'll see him step off the mound and wipe his brow from time to time. He has not been that good at holding runners on. Concentrates a lot, but mostly on the batter. So Rick Wise, who relies on a good moving fastball and can hit the spot with those fastball, is in there now, and he's going to face some tough hitters. Johnny Bench, Tony Perez, and George Foster.
Dick, his fist just has a short meaning. Looking at my scorecard, I think I could just go right down the line and find a hero among Carbo, Lynn, Evans, Foster, Geronimo, Griffey, Rose, Concepcion, Doyle, Yaz.
You've named just about everybody.
Fisk. That's the kind of game it's been.
Johnny Bench has an RBI single back in the 5th inning. He is 1 for 5. Facing Rick Wise as we go to the top of the 12th inning of a 6-6 game. Fastball outside. They play Bench as a pull hitter. Popped up to the right side. Fisk going after it, and Pudge makes the catch and sits down. Fisk has made some fine plays and some fine attempts.
That is always a tougher play than it looks. It gets above the stands. Now he's got that thing. He's got his sights on it. It looks like it's going in the stands, and now she starts to spin back and obviously loses his balance, and down he goes. But he was zeroed in on it. That's a tough play. I tell you, I appreciate it, I guess, more than most people, because I can never make the play. That's why. If you can't do it, you appreciate somebody who can.
Tony Perez has a single and 5 trips to the plate. Takes low for ball 1. When Wise has his good live fastball, you'll see the ball popping off of the bats and being popped up to the right side. And Wise, near no-hitter this year, had a no-hitter with 2 out in the 9th inning in Milwaukee. That's all we saw. Brewers were just popping it up to the right side. There's a called strike, 1-1. George Scott said the ball just exploded off of the bat as it came in there. Well, that was Rick Wise at his best. 1-1 pitch. Perez cuts and misses.
Carlton checking that mask, and you can see him kind of give it a yawn, because that hit him flush, and when you get hit flush like that, you feel like 2 or 3 of your fillings have dropped out. It comes right off the bat, right into your mask. There's nothing you can do. Now watch it. Right into it. Doesn't give you a headache, but it gives you the feeling like you had your head inside a bell and somebody hit it with a hammer.
1-2 to Perez. 1 out in the 12th inning. 6-6 the score. Two balls, 2 strikes. Bouncing ball, and that's into center field, a base hit. So Tony Perez has his 2nd hit of the game and the 13th hit for the Reds. They will bring up George Foster, who doubled home a pair of runs in the 7th inning to break a 3-3 tie. Geronimo homered in the 8th to make it 6-3, but then Bernie Carbo blasted a 3-run pinch homer into the center field bleachers in the 8th inning. Both teams have had shots since then. The Red Sox had the bases loaded, nobody out in the 9th, and did not score. And the Reds had a runner on, and Evans made a fine play, doubling off Griffey. We've had everything, as Joe has mentioned. 1 out. There's a strike on the corner.
I was watching the monitor strictly when he was pitching to Perez, and he hit that outside corner, and Tony hit a good pitch and comes right back with a good fastball on the outside part of the plate to Foster. That's the ground ball pitch, and that's what he's looking for.
He fouls it off to the on-deck circle, and Wise is ahead of Foster, 2 strikes. And as you see, Rick does not like the ball he's been handed. Concepcion is the on-deck batter for Cincinnati. Well, in game 2, the Reds got 2 in the 9th inning to win 3-2. In game 3, in 10 innings, they won 6-5. Red Sox won game 4 5-4. This is a 6-6 game. Only 2 games have been out of hand. Game 1 when Tion won, and game 5 when the Reds behind Gullit controlled it. That just missed. 1-2.
It's been a great lesson watching these pitchers that when they do get ahead of the hitter, they do make the pitch work for them, and when they miss away from the power. That ball was outside. There was nothing Foster could do. If he'd have missed inside, he might have stuck one up on the screen.
Fisk sets up inside, and there's a ball hit out to left field. It's a base hit. Fisk was setting up inside. I was off the Fisk. Carbo, as you mentioned before, is playing a deep left field here at Fenway Park. And Foster has his 2nd hit. Reds, with 1 out, have runners at 1st and 2nd.
Those last 2 base hits, great examples of a fella making the pitch he wants to make and a good hitter hitting it. It was not the hitting of a mistake. The ball that Perez hit was low outside. He hit it up the middle. That ball jammed Foster. He was still strong enough to hit it to left field. In fact, sometimes it kind of bugs me whenever you listen to a ball game. Every time a pitcher throws a ball and the guy hits it for a home run, they say it was a high curve ball. It was a mistake. Those were good pitches that were hit by good hitters.
Here's Concepcion, has a single. This is his 6th time up and a stolen base as well. Runners at first and second, 1 out. We're in the top of the 12th inning. 6-6 the score. The Red Sox and the Reds, Game 6 of the World Series. On the corner, Wise has been getting ahead of the batters. Perez at second, Foster the runner at first. Watch Perez check the infielders. Now Burleson shades a bit towards second, yells something to Doyle. A lot of things going on there between pitches. That was high, 1-1. 35,205 here at Fenway Park. Reds had their largest crowd in their history in game number 5 at Riverfront Stadium last Thursday on a fine evening for baseball. 1-1 the count to Concepcion. Out to right field. Evans going back. He makes the catch. The runners went halfway and they go back to their respective bases. 2 down. Perez to second. Foster to first. George Scherger, the coach there. And now we'll see Cesar Geronimo with 2 out in a conference at the mound. Burleson and Wise. Geronimo has 2 hits tonight, a single in the 6th inning, and a home run just inside the foul pole in the right field line in the 8th, and Darrell Johnson out to the mound quickly. No one is warming up in the Red Sox bullpen, just wants to talk to Wise.
That's it exactly, Dick. He just wants to make sure that everybody is together as to how they're going to try to pitch to Wise. No trick pitches here because everything is riding with the tie-breaking run at second base. Johnson just wants to make sure that Wise and Fisk and everybody we're all together.
Darrell Johnson and Sparky Anderson, the respective managers, matching wits in game 6, and we have seen 12 pitchers in this game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pinch hitters. Here's Geronimo. Petrocelli is about even with the bag, maybe a step in. Rest of the infield playing back and shaded to the right against Geronimo. Ball 1. We do have activity in the Reds bullpen. As we said, the Red Sox bullpen is quiet. Clay Kirby, who has yet to see any action in the series, is heating up. All right, only Don Gullett and Kirby, the only pitchers remaining. Foul back on the screen. 1-1. Well, Sparky said he was going to use them all if need be.
And he has done it.
Looking ahead to the Red Sox 12th, it'll be Carlton Fisk, Fred Lynn, and Rico Petrocelli. Pat Darcy's done a fine job in relief. One ball, 1 strike, 2 out. Perez at second, Foster at first. Top of the 12th. Close, no good. 2-1. Crowd thought he had it.
Well, here's that thing we were talking about before, Dick, that Wise is going to make him hit the pitch he wants him to hit. He's not going to give in to him because you got a pitcher coming up.
Here's the 2-1. Cuts and misses. That's a Rick Wise fastball at its best, and the count is 2-2.
And he is spotting it well.
Aren't many players left on the Cincinnati squad to use. See, Doug Flynn is one. Rettenmund. Plummer. In there, called strike 3, right down the pipe, and Wise
strikes out Geronimo. There were 2 hits. The Reds lead 2. We go to the bottom of the 12th of a 6-6 game. Bottom of the 12th inning. We had a 10-inning game in the 3rd series contest, and now we have a 12-inning contest. And it'll be Fisk, Lynn, and Petrocelli against Pat Darcy, who has been very impressive in 2 innings. He has set down 6 Red Sox hitters. Only Clay Kirby and Don Gullett have yet to be used as far as Cincinnati pitching is concerned. Six runs, 14 hits, no errors for Cincinnati. 6 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for Boston. And Fisk will lead it off, has a single and has walked twice. Has been on base 3 times. Actually was safe on a force play. Been retired once tonight on a bouncing ball to short in the 7th. Here's Fisk. And the wind blowing out. We've had 3 homers tonight, all to right field or center field. Carbo's was to dead center. The other 2 to right. There's a ball. There it goes, the long drive. If it stays fair, home run. Watch him.
How many steps does he take? 1. He waits to see it. Get over. Get over.
He knew it. There it is. Red Sox win it 7-6 in 12 innings. And Carlton Fisk had a lot of little boy in him right there, Joe.
Bottom of the 9th inning, 55,239 trying to help out the Yankees. Come up with 2 runs to at least tie it here in the 9th inning. Darryl Strawberry comes out on deck, so he will pinch hit for Girardi. Both of those certainly could happen here in 1999. I know one for sure. No balls and 2 strikes for Roches. Maybe Sosa hit 71. I don't know did you see that sign? It said Martinez Cy Young in 99 and Sosa 71 in 99.
I certainly did. One of those is going to happen. That guy right there got it locked up.
14 strikeouts on the night. 1 hit, a home run by Chili Davis back in the 2nd inning. He couldn't hold up. Roches is gone.
Strikeouts for the 6th time this year. The last guy to do that, to strike out 15 or more 6 times in a season, Nolan Ryan back in 1974. Dominating. Man.
Big hand is for Darryl Strawberry. Tall man with a monstrous home run in Anaheim. Yankees don't need a home run. They need a base runner right now. In Strawberry's last game, he was 2 for 3. Ball and a strike. You talk about difficult, sitting on the bench for almost 3 hours and then having to pinch hit in the 9th inning against a guy like Martinez.
Yeah, wow. And then hammering one off your left knee.
Like Pedro has been most of this game in front of a Yankee hitter. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 16 strikeouts, matches his high for 1998. Check that, 1999.
There have been 2 dominating pitching performances at Yankee Stadium this year. The perfect game by David Cone on July 18th and tonight. And tonight, in my view, equals what David Cone did on July 18th. I know you can't say, what do you mean, man? The guy pitched a perfect game. But what Martinez has done tonight is equally impressive.
He has struck out 11 out of the last 13 Yankee hitters. And he's in front of Knobloch 0-1. Vying for win number 21. Two outs for New York here in the bottom of the ninth. Man, has this been impressive. Breaking ball, just missing. That leaves the count up at 1-1. Jimmy Williams, the skipper. Bernie Williams on the other side, contemplating on what has happened to this ball club tonight. One ball, 2 strikes to Knobloch.
Pedro Martinez has already matched the most strikeouts here at Yankee Stadium, 16. That's been done 4 times, including tonight.
Every hitter has struck out at least 1 time versus Martinez, except for Knobloch. That little check swing will wake up the press.
I'd like to correct what I just said. Ron Guidry did have 18 strikeouts here. I just caught the last part of the PA announcer saying, or Rick Cerrone, I guess, saying over the PA address, public address, PA address. No such thing, is it? PA address.
PA system.
Forget about it. Yeah, system. So that's the 2nd most here at Yankee Stadium.
Another strikeout, and that will create a high for Pedro Martinez with 17 strikeouts. In 1999. You talk about domination. He allowed only 1 base hit, a home run by Chili Davis in the 2nd inning, and from that point on, he got mad.
22 in a row retired to finish the game. 22 in a row to win his 21st.
He struck out 12 of the last 15 batters the Yankees sent to home plate.
Boy, even David Cone, you can see that look of, man, that was something. Starting pitcher, announcers, fans, you got to love what you saw here tonight as Chuck Knobloch goes for the high fastball. Strikeout number 17 for Pedro Martinez.
Win number 21 for Martinez as the Boston Red Sox shave off a game in this American League East. They're now behind the Yankees 5.5 with this win tonight.
Mariano Rivera faced 4 batters in the 8th, pitched around a leadoff hit by Ramirez, and will work to the bottom of the order here in the 9th, trying to finish off a sweep. The Red Sox have led for 23 minutes in this series. 7 minutes last night, 16 minutes tonight. The Red Sox have won 7 of their last 9 when facing elimination. They face elimination here tonight. And the Yankees 17-7 when they can clinch under Joe Torre. Torre trying to go 7-0 in ALCS play. And you look at the numbers for Rivera. Since 2001, He's blown 7 save opportunities against the Red Sox. But the Red Sox trying to get him in the postseason. Rivera looking for his 33rd postseason save. Here we go. Millar, ball 1. It foul. Just turned midnight here at Fenway Park. 12 hours ago, JB was welcoming an NFL television audience out in Foxborough. 12 hours later, the Red Sox are 3 outs away from being swept. Inside, 2-1.
Rivera staying in on Millar with his cutter, just making sure that he's inner third off the plate. He missed with the 1 and Millar was out in front.
It's 3-1. Mariano Rivera in the postseason 6 for 6 in save chances against Boston. A leadoff walk, and there's life for the Red Sox.
Now, Mariano's strength is his cutter, and his cutter runs down and away. It runs away from the right-hander and into the lefty. This matchup of him pounding Millar inside, he does it well, of course, but it's not as good as him throwing his cutter on the outer half and letting it ride.
A pinch runner, Dave Roberts, is going to come in for Boston. He can run, picked up from the Dodgers. Bill Miller is at the plate. On the 24th of July, with Miller at the plate and Rivera on the mound, this won it for Boston. That bench-clearing brawl, a long day of baseball, and a celebration. What can Miller do now against Rivera? Roberts with a huge lead draws a throw.
Very fast, Roberts.
With the Red Sox try and steal a base. Miller has a hit tonight, and twice he's bounced out. That was close.
He's going.
He certainly got a lead big enough to go.
Mariano doing exactly what a pitcher has to do with a good base runner. Vary your times, hold the ball, quicken your stride once in a while, just to offset the timing and tempo of the base runner.
Miller still waiting for his first pitch. Roberts is going. Posada's throw. Roberts safe.
Roberts had a great jump. It was a good ball for Posada to throw on. Good call. Roberts was 38 for 41 in stolen bases. Nearly perfect.
Now Miller will try to get him at least over to third base. Showing bunt. Taking strike one. Two seldom used bench players could have key roles for Terry Francona here in the ninth inning. Roberts, a pinch runner stealing second, and Minkiewicz, who was picked up from the Twins, right now in the on-deck circle with Bellhorn's spot due up next.
This season hanging on a bunt here.
Up the middle. Roberts will come to the plate. The throw by Williams. Bill Miller has tied it. The temperature continues to fall here in Boston as we move to the bottom of the 12th, the 4-4 game, and Paul Quantrill is the fifth pitcher of the night for New York. The opportunity won't be any better than it is right now for the Red Sox. Ramirez, Ortiz, and Varitek, if anybody gets on Nixon, trying to force a game 5 tomorrow. Strike one on the inside corner. Game 5 would start just after 5 local time later today. This ties the longest game in ALCS history. One ball, one strike.
Mike Timlin like a middle linebacker trying to get the crowd into it.
Ramirez with a hit and 3 walks tonight. 2 balls and a strike. Quantrill had such a good first half of the season, but ran out of gas down the stretch. The 1910 Cubs, the only team in postseason history down 3-0 to win Game 4 in extra innings. The 2-1. Ramirez will start it with a hit. And the Red Sox put their leadoff man on for the first time since the 9th inning when they tied it against Rivera.
It is awfully tough to throw Manny Ramirez anything in the strike zone, anything that he can reach. Usually a line drive on the end of it.
Now it's David Ortiz. Ball 1. Ortiz popped up with the bases loaded, 2 out against Rivera in the 9th. On the inside corner, a ball and a strike. picked up by Posada. 2-1.
Nice play by Posada, backhanding that fastball that actually hit in front of the plate. Good play.
Ortiz into deep right field. Back is Sheffield. We'll see you later tonight.
Well, all right, let's all take a deep breath as we go to the most dramatic ninth inning in the history of baseball. The Dodgers will send up Carl Furillo, Roy Campanella, and then we'll see about Mangley Spot. The first man is Furillo. He has flied to right and popped out to second. 0 for 2 and 5 for 17. Now back. And the crowd here at Yankee Stadium, 64,517, will be roaring on every pitch. Fouled away. 0-2. Ball one. High foul off first. Collins coming over. He has no play. Another foul, twisting down the right field line, carrying back into the crowd. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Carl Furillo. High fly ball to right. Hank Bauer is there, waiting. 1 out. Roy Campanella struck out looking and popped out to Billy Martin. He is 0 for 2 and 4 for 14. Line down the line, foul. Hitting the facade and coming back downstairs. 0-1. And the Dodger bullpen, grumbling and growling and waiting. Bouncer down towards Billy Martin. 2 out. I think it would be safe to say that no man in the history of baseball has ever come up to home plate in a more dramatic moment. That man is pinch hitter Dale Mitchell. Yankee Stadium shivering in its concrete foundation right now. Ball 1. 2 out in the 9th inning. The Yankees 2, Brooklyn nothing. But this ball game is right there on your screen, Mr. Don Larson. Strike 1. And the crowd is roaring now, similarly to the day when Johnny Padres stood out there last year. But there is so much more at stake this afternoon. And now there is 1 strike left. Fouled away, just to increase the tension.
First up, Nick Johnson, bottom of the 8th, 5-2 Boston, ball 1.
Master and commander has starred Pedro Martinez tonight.
1 ball, no strikes. Johnson, Jeter, and Bernie Williams. Wide, it's 2-0. There is action for the Red Sox in their bullpen in case Martinez stumbles. We're in the 8th, and Boston leads by 3. 2 balls and a strike. Timlin and Embry. High, it's 3-1.
Dick Johnson took the 2-0 pitch. We'll see if he's taking 3-1.
Three and two.
Come on. Come on, get on. Battery.
The Boston Globe today called this game the biggest game in one of sports' greatest rivalries. Everybody looking at Pedro Martinez and how he would respond after what happened on Saturday afternoon in Game 3. Some saying Pedro Martinez still had to have that one game, that highlight game in his career. Johnson pops up. Garciaparra waits for it. One out in the 8th. The papers here. One of the headlines had a picture of Pedro Martinez after Saturday's Game 3, and they called him Fenway Punk. They were all waiting here at Yankee Stadium for him to get here, to step on the field, to warm up. He was not intimidated one bit. Regarded by many as the greatest pitcher in the game today, the most dangerous, the most dominant. And with one out here in the bottom of the 8th inning, he works to Derek Jeter. With the Red Sox 5 defensive outs away from heading to the World Series. Jeter. Jeter 0 for 3 in this game. He's fouled out, grounded out, struck out. Strike 2. Jeter flies into right, Nixon back. On the run, it's over his head. Jeter will dig for second and hold there with a double. Ron Nixon did not read that ball perfectly off the bat and could not recover to get the out.
He went to his right first, and then the ball tailed behind him.
Parents of Derek Jeter, who are in this spot year after year in October. And Jeter trying to get something going in the bottom of the 8th with one out. Here's Bernie Williams, 1 out of 3. On the inside corner, strike 1.
When the Yankees have runners on, Pedro throws the hardest. 95, a couple of pitches the last inning with runners on at first and second. Now 92 to Williams on the inside corner.
Time called. It's Williams now, Matsui, the number 5 hitter, on deck. That's wide, a ball and a strike. 11 o'clock straight up on the scoreboard here at Yankee Stadium. It's Game 7. The Red Sox got 3 runs in the second. behind the pitching of Pedro Martinez. They lead it 5-2 in the bottom of the 8th. The Yankees aren't finished yet. 1-1 pitch. 2 balls and a strike. With Matsui, the left-handed hitting outfielder, on deck. Alan Embry, the lefty, is getting ready in the bullpen for the Red Sox.
And you get the feeling that he will be the pitcher against Matsui one way or the other.
That's foul. 114 pitches on the night for Pedro Martinez. The Yankees looking for more of that October magic, which they have almost come to expect around here under Joe Torre. The 2-2 into center field. Damon will play it on a hop. Jeter will come to the plate. It's a 2-run game. Brady Little out of the dugout. With 115 pitches on the night, Brady Little is going to stick with his starter.
He gave Martinez the chance to say yay or nay. And he said yes.
Tying run at the plate for New York. It's Hideki Matsui. 1 out of 3 with a double tonight. Strike 1. Strike 2. Corner fair. Bernie Williams will dig. It's a ground rule double. It's second and third as the Red Sox catch a break as that ball hops out of play. But the tying runs are at second and third with 1 out here in the 8th.
The way I see this is the most blatant situation for a second guess in this series. Whether to bring Embry in to pitch to Matsui or not. If you're not going to bring him in against Matsui, when are you going to make that move? On an 0-2 pitch, Matsui, who had doubled in game 3 off Pedro, doubles again.
I think it's a case where Grady goes out to Pedro Martinez, his #1 guy, and because of the respect that he has earned, gave him the option.
And he stays out for Posada. Second and third, 1 out, bottom of the 8th, a run already home. Ball 1.
Tinder Remember those ghosts we were talking about?
119 pitches. The Yankees making noise, and these fans lining it up in the bottom of the 8th. A breaking ball for a strike. Joe Torre talked about moving Jason Giambi to number 7 in the order. He said usually when you do that, the guy that you move to try to help out invariably comes up in a spot to tie or win a game. He's on deck. Right now it's Posada. Second and third, 1 out. 2-1.
Jason Giambi struck out with runners on at second and third last night against Alan Embry. So a place to put Posada if Pedro elects to do that.
Two and 2.
Curveball in a fastball situation.
Flare into center field. Out as Walker won't get it. The base running of Matsui. He comes home. Nobody covers second. Tie game. Mariano Rivera getting congratulations after 3 shutout innings. Now he's a cheerleader. Welcome to the booth, Joe Buck, Red Boone, and Tim McCarver. And you're talking about 2 teams, guys, that are playing for the 26th time this season against one another. Only 1 win separates these 2 teams, and now here we are, bottom of the 11th inning in a 5-5 game. This is it's quite a night.
Clearly, time is not an ally of the Yankees either.
I'll tell you what, I've just enjoyed watching it.
I would imagine that's the sentiment throughout, although the Boston Red Sox and the fans through New England, I'll tell you they were 5 outs away in the 8th inning, leading by 3 as Boone hits it to deep left. That might send the Yankees to the World Series. Boone, a hero in Game 7.
Jose Ramirez to lead it off for the Tribe, and he takes a first pitch strike. One ball, 1 strike. Brandon Maurer Started the year with the Padres. All in all, not great numbers. Ramirez lines one right center field into the gap. It'll be cut off by Lorenzo Cain. And Ramirez is going for two. Here's the throw. He is saved. Unbelievable hustle.
I mean, seriously, you don't think that's a will to get to second base? When Lorenzo Cain, one of the better center fielders in the game, has the ball in front of him, and he was challenging him. He thought he was going to stop. And Jose just never stops. That's his 50th double. Watch this. It surprised him, I believe. He had to put a little extra on the throw, and it wasn't accurate. Instead of getting rid of it quickly, that's what pressure can do. But this kid is something special here. My goodness. Look at, he was thinking of stopping and then challenged him. Great hustle. That's the winning run, folks.
We showed you that double from yesterday, earlier in the game, and it was the same sheer determination and will. And now Edwin Encarnacion takes a strike. The winning run in scoring position here in the bottom of the 10th.
I think 99% of the people would have stopped at first base in that situation.
And Edwin swinging for the downs, comes up empty. It's 0-2. Mauer's 0-2. Up and away. He's just rearing back and throwing it as hard as he can right now, hoping he can get out of this jam. Encarnacion, Jay Bruce to follow. And a foul right back. He was on that one, but at 97, tough to square up. And the 1-2 way outside. Encarnacion takes, and that evens the count. Nerves are a bit frazzled here in Cleveland, Ohio. And the 2-2 just a bit outside, and now a full count. The crazy thing about this is that you have that feeling, and yet it's just a regular season game. It's just history they're playing for.
No, they want to keep this thing rolling, boy. They want to go to number 22.
The 3-2. Check. Did he go? They appeal. He did not. And a walk to Encarnacion. But you know what I'm saying? It's not like Game 7 of a postseason series where you know if you don't win, it's over. There's still another game tomorrow, but this has a different feel than any regular season game I can ever remember.
No doubt. And Ramirez tonight has been right in the middle of it all. First two at-bats, base hits, down in the count with 2 strikes. Then he hits the double. That made it interesting and set up that inning. They didn't score, but here it is. I mean, this is sheer will. This is wanting to get yourself in scoring position, challenge the center fielder to make a good throw, and he did not.
Now Jay Bruce. Wow, almost hit him. Jay is 0 for 3, walked back in the 6th inning. And the fans with the bruise call. And out to the mound. These are actual boos.
Maybe some of them.
They're not Butera calls. As he goes to talk to Mauer.
Well, you can see he's starting to speed it up a little bit. He was basically all fastballs early. And then Ramirez got on second. He had Encarnacion down, and he ended up taking that walk and working himself an at-bat to get on first base.
The 1-0. In off the plate.
These are the two guys that had the opportunity back in the 8th inning. Jay Bruce, Santana on deck. That could have tied the game for the Indians then.
Ripped to right. Down the line. Fair ball. Around It's a walk-off for number 22.
George Orta will pinch hit for Motley. So here's an inning that hasn't even started, and we've had 3 changes. A pinch hitter, a new pitcher, and then a pinch hitter for the pinch hitter. Orta looks at a strike on the outer half. Balboni on deck, and then Sundberg. Oh, 2. Nobody has ever struck out 7 straight over 2 games in the history of the World Series, and Worrell is a strike away from doing that.
Well, he has tremendous poise. When you talk about poise, especially about a young pitcher, you're talking about the ability to throw your stuff over the plate. So far in this World Series, all year, he's been able to do it.
Popped foul and curling back out of play. It'll be in about 12 rows. Sparky Anderson, the Tiger manager, interviewing Worrell on Good Morning America the other day, ended the interview, and I loved it. He said, "Todd, thank God you're in the National League, and stay there." Little squibber to the right side. Worrell races over to cover. The throw doesn't get him. Worrell got to the bag, and an argument here, and here comes Herzog amongst the other quartet. First base umpire is Denkinger, American League.
Well, this is spring training all over again. Any ball to the right side, get there as quick as you can. I think he tries to go for the ball. His argument is he gets the side of the bag. Looks like he's out.
From that angle, let's take a look from this one.
Again, Clark with the toss.
Oh, yes.
Right on top of the bag.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt about it.
Only in one person's mind.
So Orta gets on, and Balboni is at the plate. Balboni has singled, flied out, and walked. You're in a funny situation here, too. Here's your power guy, but in a bunt situation, really.
Well, the classic line is you play to win on the road and tie at home, but only, again, the manager's job is to work within the limitations of his player. And I'm not sure if Steve Balboni can bunt.
And the Cardinals don't expect him to. He pops it up in foul ground, and Clark comes over to the dugout with Porter, and Clark doesn't know where he is and can't make the play. And what's happening in the 9th inning, and you can see the shoulder hunch, Clark has spent his whole career in right field. He has made a pretty good adjustment to first base, but he came off the bag, and I'm not saying he made the mistake on a Motley ball, but he's been involved now in the first 2 plays of the 9th inning.
Well, the mistake he makes is looking at Porter. By then, the ball is back over his head. Talked to him before the series. He said he really hasn't felt comfortable at first base, especially on throwing. Here is another example.
0-2, and Balboni trying to hit that one onto the freeway.
And having the capabilities of doing that. We talked about the 96-mile-per-hour fastball. He also has an excellent slider, but he said in this situation, if you're going to get beat, and a home run will beat him, he said you got to go with number 1. Let's see if he does it.
McRae on deck. comes Herzog. Onyx Concepcion goes into pinch run. McRae had been out on deck. Now Sundberg returns to the on-deck circle. There is the pinch runner. Herzog has the two in the bullpen. Horton, the lefty who took Worrell's place out there, and the right-hander Lottie. So first and second, not only talking to Worrell, but talking about the bunt. He's going to leave him in as they discuss situation here. And McRae had come out on deck to bat for Sundberg. But in this situation, what Hauser is telling you is that Sundberg's a good bunter, and he's going to try to get him along. And he's going to save McRae.
When you do bunt, and if Sundberg's successful, then Whitey can play his little game. They send McRae up. You can walk him. Again, the winning run is at first base.
Clark creeps in. So does Pendleton. Outside. Biancalana due up next.
Well, Tim McCarver has been talking all World Series about the difficulty of bunting on artificial turf. Take a look at the infielders when the pitch goes across home plate. They will be about 15 feet from home plate, trying to get that force at third.
That's outside, and it's 2-0.
You almost want Jim Sundberg to be able to bunt. Hasn't been too many low strikes all night. Into the ball game. If you're Todd Worrell, you want Jim Sundberg to bunt the ball, but sometimes you just can't get the ball over home plate.
He bunts in the air, foul, and Porter can't make the play. And a break for Sundberg as he pops it up back to the screen. And that's one thing about a fastball coming in at 92 or 93 miles per hour. You will pop them far back.
Well, especially if it's up in the strike zone. And they tell you, of course, there's conflicting philosophies. If the guy squares around a bunt, he's more apt to pop up the high pitch.
He squares. He bunts to Clark, who lets it roll foul, and the count is 2-2. So Order returns to second, Concepcion to first. Clark that time, you could almost sense it in his mind, wasn't quite sure what he was going to do with it for a second.
Well, another illustration of his inexperience at first place. Excuse me, at first base.
2-2. Sundberg really compelled to swing away, though Pendleton remains shallow at third. Now he starts to back up. But he's going to bunt with 2 strikes. Lays it down. Worrell looks at third, throws, and gets him on a close play at third. And that couldn't be any closer. Play goes 1-5, 1 out. Orta comes off, and McRae will come up.
Not a very good bunt, almost right back to Worrell, who breaks the wrong way. Again, no hesitation.
Good call. Jim McKean, American League, calling that one.
Again. Not by much, but he was out.
All right, now McRae. The designated hitter pinch hits for Biancalana. Cal came up the other night and grounded out with the bases loaded in St. Louis. 1-0.
bases loaded, is going to try to be a little more selective.
That gets away from Porter, and the runners move up. McRae's hands with second and third.
Certainly does. It almost looked like he crossed up Porter. First slider he's thrown tonight.
Pass ball is the ruling, so second and third, the tying run at third, the winning run at second. Porter with Worrell in the count 2-0.
As I said, maybe they did get their signs mixed up. Looked like Porter's looking fastball.
You can see the four fingers held up by Hal Lanier, indicating he doesn't have to hold up 4, he only has to hold up 2 because the count's already 2-0. So they'll walk McRae, and Dean Orge is out on deck to pinch hit. This is some boring World Series, isn't it?
Comes up, will Herzog come out?
Whitey, back to Lanier. Mike Rourke, trainer Gene Gieselman. Lanier signaling to the infielders as they align themselves here. Orge, a Cardinal in the 1982 World Series, and he had a terrific World Series.
5:49.
The infield double play depth short and second, and up in the corners, and there it is visually for you.
The play is if it's hit the first or third, you're coming home. You get the tying run. If it's hit to the middle infielders, most likely they'll try for 2 unless the only play they have is at the plate.
Concepcion at third, Sundberg at second. And it's low, ball 1. John Wathan is the runner at first base running for McRae. He's important too because a force play, there he is. A force at second could be a big play. And that's a looper hitting the right field for a base hit. Concepcion scores. Here comes Sundberg. Here's the throw. He scores. We go to a 7. Like most ball players, slides on only one side, so he really slides into that tag. It's the rare player who can slide either way. If he hooks on his right hip, he gets away from that tag.
Looked like his only chance to make the play was to take his body out into the outfield and grab it with his hands.
Right. Oh, and 1 to Marty Castillo, and a little business. Remember, all the stations along the network, at the end of this half inning, in the bottom of the 8th, we'll have an extra station identification. Fastball. Oh, 1 and 2.
The question in Salazar, though, is if you're the tying runner and you are going to steal, you can't get picked off. You've got to get thrown out if you are indeed running.
And the team with the better overall speed, better than perhaps the Cubs, pays for the fact that Martinez does not run well. If Martinez ran well, he had an easy double. And instead, he has to stop with a single. Salazar runs for him, and he's picked off. And you really get down to 2 plays now. The inability to get Wiggins home in the first inning. And the pop fly that was caught by Wiggins instead of Gwynn.
that allowed Gibson to come home. They'll haunt San Diego all winter.
Well, that last play by Salazar is not exactly going to put him to sleep.
2-2. Three and two. Kirk Gibson has been vitally involved. He hit a 2-run home run, and he scored in the 5th inning on the fly ball to Wiggins. And Gossage walks Castillo, opening up the bottom of the 8th. Lou Whitaker is the batter. Remember, Castillo singled in the 6th inning. They didn't have Whitaker bunting. They had him swing away, and Garvey turned to double play at first. With Trammell to follow, and their lead cut to 1 again. We'll see whether they have Whitaker bunting. Nettles, 1 step up in front of the bag, fouled away. 0-1.
Goose made a throw to first base. Nothing else, letting Castillo know that I know you're there.
Anderson has tremendous faith in Whitaker, even against steam or heat like Gossage. Being left-handed, he might just let him hack away. We'll see. Trammell on deck. Yep, he's got him around. Bunting a 1-hopper to Nettles. He's going to go to Templeton.
He's off the bag.
He missed the bag.
He wasn't expecting to throw. He was off the bag. I can't believe what's happening. It's like Padre busters. I mean, the Gremlins have hit the field. Guys are not catching fly balls. He assumed he was going to first base. Now watch this. Nettles, he doesn't hesitate, and Templeton is standing in front of the bag. He's in front of the bag. He got caught in a cookie jar.
Look at the look on Templeton. You don't have to say anything. He's so shocked. Oh, my goodness.
He can't believe he did that himself. He was in front of the bag. I mean, it's a real Halloween finish.
There's the bunt to Gossage, and he has to throw to Wiggins. It figures they'll take the bat right out of Gibson's hand. And now Dick Williams is going to go out there because Kennedy held up 4 fingers and then went out to the mound. Well, let's see.
Well, you gotta believe that he's gonna put him on with 4 pitches. But if he starts to fool around and throw a couple pitches and get a couple strikes, don't you know that Sparky will be screaming about that Raleigh Fingers Johnny Bench play?
That's right. You have to turn the clock back with 2 strikes on Bench. Dick went out to the mound, caught the fingers. Tennis held his hand out as if we're going to put him aboard. Suddenly, Tennis dropped into a crouch. Bingo, strike 3.
Well, they're making a decision here, and Williams is in charge.
You know what's interesting? Kirk Gibson made his major league debut, his very first at-bat in the big leagues, against Goose Gossage. That's a great way to break in. And Gossage struck him out on 3 pitches.
Blew him away, Sparky says.
And maybe because of that, Gossage is saying, I can get him. Well, we'll see. Ball 1. The infield is up. They give Gibson the left field foul line. Brown is in left. And there it goes.
we're just soaking it up right now, but as the years go by, we're going to say, wow, this has got to go down as one of the greatest World Series ever.
Our statistician, Steve Hurt, keeps handing us cards and says, this is the first time this, and the first time that, the first time this. We're piling up some records, and here we are, scoreless in the bottom of the 10th with Gladden, the batter, against Pena. Broken bat, fly ball's going to drop. He's trying. Save!
Broken bat, trademark shot over the glove of Brian Hunter, retrieved by Gann, and Gladden never slowed down. You have heard of the catch in the 1954 World Series. If Dan Gladden scores the winning run, you might hear about the bat that broke, that put him there.
The Twins put their leadoff man on the 8th. They put the first two on in the 9th.
The bat.
And these Twins are in great shape because their batter, Chuck Knobloch, is an opposite field hitter. He's had 1 out of 4. The odds are pretty good of him moving the runner to third or driving him home. Ball 1. Bad break for Pena as he sawed the bat off in the hands of Gladden. The Twins have an excellent runner at second, carrying the winner. He's a rookie, folks. At the plate with a winning run at second. Is he still punting? One ball, one strike. And a bullpen finds Jim Clancy and Kent Merker warming up. Times in this series, the winning run has scored on the final play of the game. Gladden the runner, nobody out. Going to take another miracle for the Braves. Knobloch bunts, Pendleton goes to first. Lemke took the throw. There's the winner at third base, 1 out. Now we'll see some more strategy.
Well, you know you're going to get one intentional walk. That's Kirby Puckett. And the bunt, a successful one. Knobloch to Pendleton to Bream for the first out.
Remember, the Twins have never lost a World Series game in this Metrodome.
So you know the alternative Bobby Cox has is to just throw Kirby Puckett high fastballs. But I doubt very seriously that they will do that. Ken Herbeck, they're going to walk him. Now the outfield comes in. The outfield in a position where they can stand flat-footed and nail the runner at third if they catch a ball. A long fly ball, and the Twins are the world champions.
But Pena and the Braves are going to have to pitch to somebody here.
Well, do you pitch to Ken Herbeck? There's Chuck Knobloch, who did his job. His job's out of the way. Bunting Gladden to third base.
Jack Morris has pitched 10 shutout innings. On deck is Herbeck. How will they deal with him? Jim Cott, what's going on where you are?
Well, it wouldn't surprise me to see him walk Herbeck also, because Jarvis Brown is now the designated hitter, and the last left-handed pinch hitter, Gene Larkin, has a bat up the runway. Be interesting to see what Bobby Cox tries.
First and third, one out with a walk to Puckett.
If you pitch to Herbeck, do you try to pitch him inside where he's vulnerable? Remember, Pena struck him out in last night's ball game after hitting with a fastball inside and then going away twice. Herbeck is vulnerable inside, but they're going to put him on too. And it looks like Gene Larkin is going to be the pinch hitter for Jarvis Brown.
This will be the third intentional walk by Pena since he relieved. Here are these Atlanta Braves. They'll be in a spot with the bases loaded, one out, scoreless game, bottom of the 10th. They chased the Dodgers. They caught them and beat them by a game. They chased the Pirates and beat them in the 7th game of the playoff. They went home and beat Minnesota 3 straight games to get out of the hole. Now they're only a fly ball away from being the runner-up. But don't discount Pena. And the batter will be Gene Larkin. More from Jim Cott.
Well, I don't know if Bobby Cox is aware of all the injury problems on the Minnesota roster, but Gene Larkin, can almost see him limping up to home plate. He can swing the bat, but he cannot run, so very vulnerable to a double play in this situation.
Larkin is the pinch hitter with the bases loaded and one out. He is 1 for 3 in the series.
Looks like it's his left knee that is swollen. The Kitty alluding to the left knee. He also has a shin guard on his right ankle. If you hit it far enough, you don't have to run. And I'm sure that's what Gene Larkin is thinking right now.
Braves pulled off a double play in the 6th, in the 8th, and in the 9th. The infield is in, the outfield is in. And they're going to go back to halfway at second and short.
It's funny, you know, they're going to, Templeton now is talking to Brian Hunter, the left fielder. Jeff Blauser, the shortstop, is back. Mark Lemke is in. And there's some confusion in the middle of the infield right now. Now Blauser's coming in.
They could still go to second base. Now Lemke comes in closer.
I think the key point is that Gene Larkin is not a fast runner. I think you can afford to stay back if you're the middle infielders. Both Lemke and Blauser in doubt as to what to do.
The Minnesota bench hoping to get this winning run across here in the 10th. It's carried by Dan Gladden III. Bases loaded, one out. Infielders are sort of halfway at second and short. Pena in a jam. The Twins are going to win the World Series. The Twins have won it. It's a base hit. It's a 1-0 10-inning victory.
Now the White Sox and the fans here in Chicago will get a taste of the Houston closer, Brad Lidge, who's got electric stuff. It's a 6-6 game, bottom of the ninth. Mike Lamb, who pinch hit, stays in the game to play first. Chris Burt comes in from left to play second. His double play combination partner is Jose Vizcaíno at short. Moving from first out to left is Berkman. Remember, at the top of this ninth, Bruntlett and Everett were lifted for pinch hitters. Here's Juan Uribe. And he gets a look at Brad Lidge.
The last time Brad Lidge pitched in a game was in Houston, the Pujols home run. Met with silence as he left. And tonight he comes into the game met with silence here in Chicago because of that remarkable hit by Jose Vizcaino.
Sednick and Iguchi will follow 6-6. A battle for game 2. Down and in, 2-1. If you think back to the top of this 9th inning, the Astros put 2 on, have 1 out, and you're thinking, okay, Ausmus is coming up. You got the likes of Palmeiro, who's been a very good pinch hitter in his big league career with the Angels, Cardinals, now Houston. You've got Lamb, who's been red hot. It's on the outside corner. But it's Vizcaino who gets tapped on the shoulder by Phil Garner to go up and hit. And Vizcaino takes the first pitch and flips it into left. Great slide by Burke. And it's a 6-6 game. That's in the air to left center field. And back to get it is Taveras. 1 away. After being a hero in the top of the 9th, Vizcaino came out to take over at short. All jazzed up, and he forgot something. You have to play with a hat. Came up originally in '89 with the Dodgers. And Tim, you and I have seen him in different spots in his big league career, and he has bounced around and always been a very good part-time player wherever he's been.
Absolutely.
But to me, he was not the obvious choice in the top of this 9th.
Nope. But the right one.
But the right one. The 1-0 pitch. 2-0 on Podsednik. A 17-year career. A .271 average. With 1 out, a 2-0 pitch. Do you, sir, buy into the theory that people said with regard to Lidge, it would have been nice to get Lidge in the game in Game 6 in St. Louis in the NLCS to get that taste out of his mouth for Pujols home run?
I don't think that taste is there.
Podsednik hits one to deep right center field. Back at the wall. This ball is gone. Podsednik goes deep. His second home run of the postseason. And the White Sox win it 7-6. Has a new taste.
The taste might be there now. Scott Podsednik had no home runs this season. None.
First pitch outside to Gabe Kapler here in the top of the 9th inning.
Some defensive changes. Podsednik has shifted to left, and Dwayne Wise has come into the game in center field.
Kapler 0 for 2. And the count 1-2. Michael Hernandez on deck and Jason Bartlett in the hole. Up high, didn't bite. Out in front, yanks it. Way foul.
Normally when a guy gets around that quickly, a changeup is forthcoming.
That ball hit deep into left center field. Wise back. Makes the catch.
What a play.
Dwayne Wise makes the catch. What a play by Wise. Mercy. A great catch by Dwayne Wise.
It's unbelievable as Wise goes back into the wall knowing he has no room to spare. He goes up over the wall
and then juggles it before corralling it. What a play by Wise.
Under the circumstances, one of the greatest catches I have ever seen in 50 years in this game. As Hernandez can't get it.
Wayne goes up over the wall and then almost drops it.
That was incredible. That was unbelievable. Two and one to Hernandez.
I don't think Mark Burley can believe it.
There's a strike and a full count. He gone. One to go.
That's another changeup. He's used it perfectly today, and the hottest hitter on this team stands in between Mark Burley and perfection.
Alexei! Yes! 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 History! Perfect game by Mark Burley. And what an unbelievable play by Dwayne Wise.
Well, Ozzie put him in for defense in the 9th inning, shifted Posednik to left field, and the first ball looked like it was leaving the ballpark before Dwayne Wise went up over the wall. Not only caught the ball, then juggled it, then secured it in his throwing hand. Just an unbelievable performance by Mark Burley.
The 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Angels are coming up against Tim Worrell. Erstad, Salmon, and Anderson. Erstad and Salmon have had success against the San Francisco right-hander. Hitless tonight is Erstad, and 1 for his last 12. 5-3 Giants, bottom of the 8th, game 6, and San Francisco up 3 games to 2. Ball 1. One ball, one strike. smoked into right. It's a one-run game. Salmon. Ball one.
That looked like a changeup from Worrell. It changed directions in a hurry.
Nobody on or out. Salmon into center field. Lofton will play it on a bounce. Tying run is on.
That's a problem with that prevent defense. Sean Figgins is now in to run for Tim Salmon. The Giants win their prevent defense. That means no doubles. By playing too deeply, a ball that Lofton normally would have gotten to falls in front of him. So no doubles, but a single.
Righetti. Dave Righetti is going to come out and talk to Tim Worrell. Rob Nen, the closer for the Giants, cranks it up. Down 5-0. Into the bottom of the 7th. It's a 5-4 game. Bottom of the 8th. Tying run on. And nobody out. The Angels trying to live for one more game. You could see him say changeup. And that's what Erstad hit out to make it 5-4. Garrett Anderson. That's a foul ball. Foul ball, strike one.
Home plate umpires called Tim McClellan. That ball fouled by about a yard. You could also tell J.T. Snow when your left-handed throwing first baseman turns back to his left, it's foul. Just foul. Maybe not a yard. Maybe a foot. Sean Figgins at first base can fly. Fastest guy on the field.
A little slicer down the left field line. That's a hit. Figgins scoots over to third. Bond still can't come up with it, but Figgins will hold, and Anderson into second. Nobody out.
I think Sean Figgins caused that error, if it's an error. If Bonds comes up cleanly with the ball, he has a shot at Figgins. But the daring do of Sean Figgins, Barry Bonds, the ball bouncing back to his left. He looked up, and the combination of those two puts Angels on at second and third. Right there.
It's second and third, nobody out, and Rob Nen is coming in. Tim Worrell will stand and watch. Sean Figgins, the lead runner at third on this hit by Garrett Anderson.
And an error on Barry Bonds. Bonds thought it was going to bounce to his glove hand. It came back and bounced to his bare hand. But Sean Figgins certainly had something to do with that error on Barry Bonds.
Rob Nen 7 for 7 in save chances in the postseason. Blew 8 saves during the regular year. Troy Gloss, second and third, nobody out. Ball 1. Tying run at third, go-ahead run at second with nobody out, and the infield is back. Gloss after a ball way outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Almost got away from Santiago. The Giants forced to play their infield back and in essence play for a tie in this inning. If there were 1 out, they'd bring the infield in.
Ball 2.
First base umpire Jerry Crawford has had some very difficult calls tonight. Tough for a big man like Gloss to stop that swing.
Big difference between 2-1 and 1-2.
Yep.
It's 2-1 on Gloss. Into left center field. Bonds on the run, won't get it. And the Anaheim Angels have come all the way back and lead it 6-5. Rich Aurelia, the last chance tonight for the Giants. 2 wild card teams in the World Series. Troy Percival trying to get the most out of it. Aurelia. Ball 1. After Aurelia, you get Jeff Kent. Jeff Kent, 2 hits tonight, 3 hits in Game 5, including 2 two-run home runs. So it wouldn't take much to give the Giants a chance here in the 9th inning. 1-1.
Throwing that hard with that location.
Ball 2. Two balls, 2 strikes. We'll see you tomorrow night. Bottom of the 9th inning, and Aroldis Chapman is into the ball game with Maldonado, Reddick, and Springer coming up. Maldonado 1 for 3. A bunt hit back in the 5th, the only time he reached. What a game.
Well, Chapman's going to be in there for at least 2 innings, and that's what his manager's hoping he can provide in relatively quick fashion. He hasn't had much work in this series. And as I mentioned, if the Yankees are going to have any chance at winning this series, they had to have Chapman pitch 3 days in a row.
That's a strike, and it's 0-2. Talking to A.J. Hinch, he said one of the small pieces of last night's game, in which the Yankees won 4-1, was getting Chapman in that ball game. But he has had very little work. He's thrown a couple of innings. That's it. As Hector Rondon, the right-hander, gets loose. Here's the 0-2 as Maldonado stays alive. Still 0-2 on Martin Maldonado. Maldonado hit 12 home runs during the regular season. Added to this Astros team at the deadline from Chicago. A strikeout starts the bottom of the 9th.
Right about now, all that adrenaline, long night, travel, get to this point. Yankees are on fumes with their pen tied up 4-4. When does a little fatigue, if at all, factor in? Not for him.
Chapman all year allowed only 3 home runs. He's just hard to square up. Gets to face a left-hander, Reddick, and Aroldis Chapman steps off. Each side has used 7 pitchers.
He's throwing that pitch a lot more, and that pitch has become so nasty. Chapman, known for his 100+ miles an hour fastball, doesn't need that as he gets older, and he's mixed in that breaking ball. Plenty still on his fastball.
The 0-1 to Reddick. 0-2. If this game goes to the 10th, the Yankees will have Hicks, Encarnacion, and Gregorius. Oh, 2 to Reddick. That's hooked foul.
See if that pitch and that swing brings in a fastball here out of Chapman, up and away or out over the plate. Seen already a few breaking balls here with 2 strikes.
Foul tip. Another 0-2. Popped up. Stay in play. Left side. Urshela. 2 down. And in walks George Springer.
I would be shocked. Literally, I think shocked if. Well, not shocked. I'd be surprised if first pitch fastball is right here. But Chapman got a good enough fastball to beat anybody, but you're talking about a guy who loves fastballs early in the count.
And a guy who has 13 career postseason home runs, most in the Astros franchise history, and now a visit out to the mound. As they go over how they want to approach this at bat by George Springer. 0 for 3 tonight. Springer hit a game-tying home run in Game 2. A 3-run shot at Yankee Stadium in Game number 4. And he bats with 2 out, nobody on, tie game, 9th inning, Game 6.
And I say that despite the numbers he has against left-handers breaking ball, but this is not your normal left-hander that he's facing. I just think if you're up there, you're sitting fastball and looking to try and end this game and take this crowd to a new octave.
Here's a first from Chapman. And the slider starts the at bat and drills the inside corner, strike 1. Pitch number 13 of the inning.
Oh.
The 2-1 pitch. Springer now with 2 out, nobody on. Altuve on deck.
I just wonder if Springer has the guts to sit on a breaking ball. 3-1. He threw him a bunch of breaking balls to that fastball right there. Hard to sit on a breaking ball off of Chapman.
Here it comes. It's up. Down to first is Springer, and Altuve will walk in.
know he's never seen the first pitch he didn't like.
Right behind Springer, and his 13 postseason home runs is Jose Altuve with his 12. And he loves hitting here at home in Houston. Chapman trying to get him to send it into the 10th. A stolen base is not out of the equation. Springer stole 6. He has 1 this postseason.
And the outfield's going to play as deep as they can to try and cut off any double. Great speed, as you mentioned at first. No doubles outfield with 2 outs. But something down in the corner would be trouble.
First 2 not close to Altuve from Chapman.
Marisnick is on deck, so you still have a base open if you're Chapman and Sanchez. You can't forget about it. You cannot let this guy with the 2-0 count beat you.
Altuve takes a strike on a slider.
Great pitch.
Michael Brantley was taken out to add to the defense, so Marisnick on deck, and that 2-0 pitch was a beauty from Chapman. Just sent the Astros to the World Series.
Unbelievable game, especially with what's at stake. A 20-game winning streak as the A's blow an 11-0 lead. And Jermaine Dye leads off the bottom of the 9th against Jason Grimsley. Dye, the number 5 hitter. Eric Burns on deck. Remember, he came on defensively for David Justice, but now Scott Hatteberg is out of the on-deck circle in Burns' spot. 1-0 the count on Dye. Tied at 11 here in the bottom of the 9th inning in front of a stunned crowd in Oakland.
Stunned is a good word, I think. Some people are standing, some people are sitting. There's action on a school night, too. We want to see this record.
The swing of the bat would send the A's into history with their 20th consecutive win. Something no American League team has ever done. Boy, but to blow an 11-run lead, something the A's have done here tonight. Only the Giants of 1916, and they had a tie in there. And the Cubs of 35 have had longer winning streaks in the modern era, that's since 1900, than the A's of 2002. Swinging a foul back, 2-2.
One way or the other, this game's going to have an effect on this Oakland team. And if they're able to come back and win this game, yeah, they're going to feel good about getting to 20. But they're also going to know that, hey, we had an 11-0 lead against a team that's in last place, and they came back and tied us because of mistakes that we made. And If we are the type of team that wants to get to the postseason, we're going to have to play better baseball than we played tonight.
They handed run after run to the Royals. Fouled off by Dye. If it goes to the 10th, we will assume that Billy Koch is coming back out. Nobody up in the pen. Koch threw 22 pitches in that top of the 9th inning. Tough to fault him for the bloop hit by Alicea. I guess if you're going to hang something on Koch, it's falling behind Aranda 2-0. The first hitter he faced and eventually giving up the base hit. Alicea tied it with a little flare to left field. Check swing and a full count on Dye.
And that's going to happen. For closers, sometimes you bring them in these one-run games. Sometimes they're going to make a mistake. Sometimes they're going to make a bad pitch. Sometimes they're going to make a great pitch, and a hitter's going to do a great job of hitting. You can't expect them to go out there every time and not give up anything.
Yeah. Well, the story of this game is the Oakland defense, really.
Absolutely. Without question tonight, the defense and the decision-making on the defensive side, too, because the biggest play of the night now has turned out to be Tejada's decision to come to the plate instead of going to third. And that decision has cost them at least 2 runs, possibly, probably 3.
Full count pitch again to Jermaine Dye. Swung on, fly ball, right field, fairly deep, but playable for Tucker, 1 down. You can just sense, being here in the park, that everybody here in the stands feels it's going to end here in the bottom of the 9th. They're just wondering how the A's are going to pull it out. They've come to expect a win every night. Well, maybe the hero is going to be a guy coming off the bench. Scott Hatteberg pops out as a pinch hitter for Eric Burns.
Look at that. The police are walking in the A's dugout, so they at least feel like something's going to happen this inning.
Hatteberg plays generally the first baseman for the A's, with John Mabry getting the start tonight. So Hatteberg comes off the bench against Grimsley. A 19-game winning streak on the line here for the A's. The front runners in the American League West right now 3 up on the Angels. Swung on, fly ball, deep right field. They've done it again.
Postseason game in the majors, and with Velarde moving over to third, Kelly's at second, and Leyritz moves in behind the plate, and now Joey Cora will lead it off, and Velarde shortens up just about a step at third.
Former teammates in that '93 championship series facing each other.
Brought a live arm in on 2 days rest. Jack McDowell on Friday night working 5 in the 3rd innings. Gave up 5 runs. Struck out 4, but he walked 4. There's that bunt. And Mattingly again, he makes the move and he didn't get it.
We're going to have the same argument. No. Dan Morrison said no way. He went out of the line to avoid the tag.
Now it's interesting because the umpires discussed this rule. Clearly Mattingly making a move on it, and they said that Cora would have a good 3 feet. The that they would establish the line for him if Mattingly made a move. This is the second time that the play has come up in this series, and this umpiring crew has been all over it.
And that lane down there really comes into play on a throw to first base in case the runner is inside that lane.
So Cora with the bunt and started it off again. And now here is Ken Griffey.
And remember the McDowell pickoff move.
Outside, Lawrence disgusted. You could tell by his body language. He'll have a word with the umpire without turning around to show him up. Now he checks the dugout to see if Buck's got anything on with Cora on at first base. Get on the ground, base hit. Bernie Williams up with it, but Cora scampers to third base. The Mariners still refuse to lose.
Took the high fastball and got on top of it. No chance for Kelly on this turf. In fact, Williams had to scamper over to cut it off.
Tying run on third base and nobody out for Edgar Martinez as McDowell snaps one over to Mattingly. No activity down in the Yankee bullpen in right field.
And both Mariner coaches reminding the runners McDowell has the fake to third, throw to first move.
Up to McDowell. No balls and a strike to Martinez. Line drive. We are tied. Griffin is coming around. In the corner's Bernie. He's going to try to score. Here's the division championship. Mariners win it. Mariners win it.
Felix Hernandez taking the mound for the ninth inning. 24 up, 24 down against the Tampa Bay Rays. A team very much in the hunt for the playoffs here in the American League. Dave Sims, Dan Wilson, Root Sports crew. It'll be Desmond Jennings pinch hitting for Lobaton. First pitch. Breaking ball up high. Fans 21,889. Many on their feet here at Safeco Field here in Seattle, Washington. Felix ready. Swing and a miss. Counted 1-1. Felix has struck out 10. Struck out this side in the 8th. Struck out this side in the 6th. On the outside corner, strike 2.
Couple of good sliders. Dave, everybody on their feet in this stadium.
Beautiful sight on this sunshiny day here in Seattle. Kings Court going crazy. The 1-2 to Jennings. Ground ball hit foul. In the pen, everybody paying attention. Socializing has been long over. given the gravity of what we have in our hands right now. Rising to a crescendo. The 1-2 to Jennings. Foul back. Nobody up on the rail on the Mariner dugout. Everybody up on the rail for the Rays. The 1-2 to Jennings. Strike him out! Yeah! 25 up, 25 down. 4 strikeouts in a row, 11 for the ball game.
Felix goes to his changeup on Jennings. McDonald Supermo, watch the movement on this pitch. Starts in the middle of the plate, ends up by his back foot. These fans are pumped. The entire stadium is now the King's Court.
Keppinger. Little pinch hit for Elliott Johnson. What a day to be at Safeco Field. A Wednesday matinee closing out the season series with the Tampa Bay Rays. Here's tough hitter here in Keppinger. And he looks at ball one. Jeff Keppinger went 2 for 4 last night. 4 consecutive strikeouts for Felix. The 1-0. Paints that outside corner. 1-1.
Felix has gone to his slider here in the 9th. Several sliders here to the right-handers.
The 1-1 from Felix. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Crowd loving it here at Safeco Field. The energy is reverberating around this ballpark. 1-2. The King deals to Keppinger. Ground ball, Ryan. Scoop, throw, got him. 2 outs.
Well, there's still a lot of pressure on the defense to make the play. Brendan Ryan, a walk in the park. Ground ball makes the pick. Good throw. 1 more out.
The last hitter, Sean Rodriguez. Fly to left and a strikeout. Pitch. Outside, ball 1. 26 up. 26 down. 11 strikeouts. He's been in a perfect rhythm all day. The 1-0. Missed outside. Joe Madden tried to break up his rhythm in the 7th inning, disputing a pitch called by Rob Drake and was ejected. Didn't affect Felix. He's got a 2-0. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Rodriguez has got a strike. 2-1.
Wow, 2-0 slider right there, Dave. Rodriguez swings and misses. Felix has got it all going.
2-1 from Felix. Breaking ball, strike 2. He's on the edge.
What a curveball.
The Seattle Mariners, Felix Hernandez, the 2-2. He got him! 34 years, 119 games. It's finally happened. A perfect game by a Seattle Mariner. It was done by the King, Felix Hernandez. The 23rd perfect game in Major League history. 3rd this year, Matt Cain of the Giants. Philip Humber did it here in Seattle against the Mariners, and now Felix Hernandez. He puts his name in the record books with a perfecto.
Not just just the eyes of Texas, but the eyes of North America are upon Nolan Ryan here in the 9th inning, looking for a career 7th no-hitter at the age of 44. First up, shortstop Manuel Lee. Low, ball 1. Just 2 base runners. Carter in the 7th inning, Gruber in the 1st on walks. On wide, Roberto Alomar, top of the order, due next for Toronto. Franco, one away.
You look back at a couple of the balls that were hit hard. You mentioned the 2 hit by Mark Whitten, one in the 5th inning, a fly ball to deep center, a line drive to right field in the 8th, and then that shallow fly ball by Manuel Lee in the 6th inning that Gary Pettis raced in and made a fine catch.
Devon White has a hat trick tonight. 3 strikeouts. There have been 3 no-hitters in this state. Dating back to 1906. Ball 1 to White. 15 strikeouts for Ryan this night. White fouls that back 1-1. Hitting with a 1 for 25 lifetime mark versus Ryan. Says Tim Sheeta at the knees.
Been that kind of a night for Devon White. 3 strikeouts, came into the game 1 for 22 lifetime against Nolan.
It just a little bit longer. Two balls and 2 strikes.
If you think about it, the last couple of innings, thinking back to that one curveball that Glenn Allen Hill back in the 8th inning had a good rip at. About that time, Nolan really hasn't had the control of the curveball that he did through the first 6 or 7 innings. Even that one there had sharp break to it, but was out of the strike zone. Again, I think he's going to stay upstairs with his fastball.
Just missed outside with it, 3-2. He goes to a full count for the 7th time tonight. Franco again. Ryan's an out away. And now the only man standing between Nolan Ryan and the 7th career no-hitter is Toronto's second baseman Roberto Alomar.
And even though Roberto Alomar is a fine bunter, you go up there and you say to yourself, if you're going to break up a no-hitter, you're going to do it swinging.
You've got to. Like everybody else tonight, he's 0 for 3, and that's strike 1.
This is electrifying, and I know after he struck out the side in the 2nd inning, you and I turned and looked at each other and said, he is on his A game tonight.
You had that feeling. Strike 2. Perhaps the most remarkable man to pitch in this game. Nolan Ryan. Entire stadium standing in anticipation of the final strike or the final out. Just a piece by Alomar.
And again, he's staying with his fastball.
It is what has gotten him this far, and he hopes it'll drive him home. Two and two.
Nolan looking at that ball saying, I don't want this. No more curveballs. Give me a good one. I'm going to go with the heat.
Nope, that won't do either. Let's settle for this one. A stubborn young hitter hangs in with him.
You have that right. Give some credit to Roberto Alomar, who battles and battles and battles right here. He doesn't want to make the last out.
Young man who got his first big league hit ever off Nolan Ryan. That's it. Number 7 is in the books. The remarkable Ryan has done it again.